Mic'd up.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Cha-cha-cha.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Highlights from Low Life show. Terry was rambling on innocuously, so I went ahead and just played the theme song. But we are back. This is episode 9743.
Did I miss something?
Yeah,
Oh.
you missed a few in the middle there.
Oh, okay.
No, I think we're like on number 58. So
Fantastic.
here's the quick backstory. We all play baseball together. We're pretty funny. We drank online during COVID. Mic'd up, heard about it, thought we'd be great for a show. I think they were right. So here we are. And tonight with our top 5 list, we got a fun one, I think. We have a top 5 celebrities you'd like to go to a ball game with. So there is no wrong answer on this one. Living, dead, pro athlete, movie star, rock star, whatever. It's wide open. It's who you would like to attend a game with and why. So we're going to have some fun with this topic.
Hey, Robbie, that
Yes,
was
sir.
a pretty snappy jingle. Who did that?
The jingle is done by a singer-songwriter, Shelby Ann. Look her up at shelbyannmusic.com. She is available for ads, for performances, and bar mitzvahs.
and dog walking.
And dog walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I mention her, the dogs go
Talented,
nuts.
young lady.
Yeah. So, if you're watching us live and you haven't already left a comment, hit that red microphone button down at the bottom, and you can leave us a list of your top 5 celebrities you'd like to go a game with, or you can mock ours. That's also well within play. So tonight we've got on the show myself, Rob Lannerman. We've got Marty Brown.
Hi.
Terry Lee.
How?
And Brent Tetlow sitting in tonight, the teddy bear.
Hello, guys. Good to be here.
So Webby is on assignment. All right. Well, I think that's enough background stuff. Let's get into the meat of this show. Brent, why don't you start us off?
Ooh, okay. Well, I've been contemplating this for a few days, and I think I wanted to start out with the person I'd like to go to a ball game with again is my pop, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to chat, have a beer with him and watch the game, or just sit there and hang and don't say anything. It would be fun to just go to the ball game with Pop again. And, we used to do that. I was lucky enough that he would take us to the Candlestick Park when I was younger, and my sister and my brother and Mom. Mom liked to play ball too. She had her own glove, and she would go to the ball games with us. I remember when we go on 4th of July, she'd wear red, white, and blue, and Dad would take her down to the ball game on Mother's Day with us because her incentive was she got to go to Sabella's or Skoma's or Alioto's afterwards. So she said, "Sure, I'll go to the ball game with you guys."
Down to the wharf.
Yes. So I think that would be fun to have another game with Pop. Here's the Pop.
And cheers to that.
Yeah, damn it. Yeah.
I think, he may not be worldwide known, but he's definitely a celebrity to you. That's
He's
clear.
my celebrity. Absolutely.
Good job.
Uh-huh.
Good pick.
All right. How about Marty?
This is what the heck? I went off the radar with this one. Now, if I remember this right, because if I go to the ball game with this guy, I'm gonna pretty much get anything I want. The best seats, the brew, because he needs to spend all his money. I'm thinking of, remember Montgomery Brewster? Brewster's Millions? That's
Brewster's
right.
Millions?
Yeah. Okay. So, he's not really a celebrity, but I mean, yeah, got it. You want to go to a ball game with a guy who's got money, he was burning a hole in his pocket? I mean, we'll have 4 beers an inning, and then we'll do we'll get the styrofoam hat, and we'll have the best seats in the house, and
His best friend's John Candy.
yeah, right. And I don't know if he gives a squat about baseball, and I really wouldn't care. I'd have a blast anyway.
So Montgomery Brewster from Brewster's Millions.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I guess we said there's no rules.
All right. Okay. Letterman, if you want to start fact checking me on this stuff, You go.
Well, I put a lot of thought into mine, and my number 5 could easily be 4-3-2. Couldn't be 1, but he could be any place in the top ranking. But I'm going to lead off with him, just because who doesn't love George Wendt, Norm
Oh,
from
yes.
Cheers?
Absolutely.
Because I figure if
Norm.
you're at a ball game with Norm,
Norm.
you're getting all the beer you want.
Good point.
And you
Not
get to
only
sit in
does
the
he,
same spot.
yeah, exactly. Not only does he seem like a really genuinely nice guy, but man, having beers with Norm at a ball game,
Ooh,
it's hard to beat that.
it
So,
would be.
yeah, Norm.
That's a
Uh,
good one.
Norm.
Terry, round us out in number 1 here, or number 5, I should say.
Yeah, well, my honorable mention was my father also.
Oh,
So I just needed to jump in on that. My number 5 would be Dottie Kamenchek.
oh,
Dottie Kamenchek
the Peaches.
is from the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, first baseman from 1943 to 1953, is the Dottie Hinson character from League of Their Own.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Interesting.
think it'd be really fun to hang out with one of the old professional women's baseball players. And, that was pretty good. That was tough times back in the
It was.
Depression
Yeah.
days.
Absolutely.
And that's my
They were
number
doing
5.
something very off the wall there.
Yeah.
I wonder how they would feel about the modern game.
Yeah.
They might not like this shift.
Or the runner second in the extra innings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there? I
Yeah,
wonder,
they
are
wouldn't
there
like
any living professional women's baseball players?
Ooh.
That would be possible, but that would be tough. So they had
Yeah.
to be 15 to 20 years old,
Right. I mean,
70 years ago. So
Dottie Kamenchek passed away. Oh, she played from 43 to 53.
Mhm.
wow.
So, that's
Yeah, it's
long.
possible, but yeah, few and far between, I'm sure.
How old are the World War II guys now?
Well, 40, that's been 75 years. Oh, yeah, 75, 80 years.
Yeah, so
They
they'd
just
be
had the
Yep.
80-year
they'd be
invasion of
90,
D-Day. Yeah.
Maybe 90.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
All
that's
right.
my pick. Dottie Kamenchek.
Oh, good. That rounds out
Also-
number 5.
Also
That's good.
known as Dottie Hinson.
That's a pretty good round. I think we're on a
Good.
good start here.
I think we're going to start here.
Yeah. All right, Terry. Who's going to start round 4?
Marty. Number 4.
Everybody knows this guy. I mean, everybody that in our group, and probably everybody that's out there watching. And actually, he's right there.
That would be a great person to go to a game with.
Mike Kruko.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
in watching the Giants over the years and listening, you learn a lot about the intricacies of the game, and the guy seems to have a blast all the time. And their meetings, if you watch the Giants broadcast, you have no idea what's going on in the field because they're chasing after some little kid with a camera who's got a toy bat and he's beating up his sister, or the guy that's gone, or the mother who's got an armful of food trying to feed everybody. I mean, this guy he would be great at a ball game. If you want to get into the ball game, we can get into the ball game. He can teach you something, or you just want to kick back and look at everybody and just have a blast and talk to the people up to your left and talk to the people up to your right. And I think a ball game with him would just be fantastic.
He spends a couple innings on the ball dudes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And again, and one of he seems to really appreciate what goes into it, because you mentioned the ball dudes and the ushers and the people behind the food counter and the people that clean up afterwards. I mean, he seems to be a genuine, great guy. So I'd love to go to a ball game with him.
Good pick.
Yeah, Tiger, right back at you.
Number 4. Well, this player is very familiar with our group. He's a Giant. World Series 10, 12, and 14. That is Mr. Buster Posey.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a fun one to hang out with too. Buster.
That would be good if you could get a word in edgeways. You kind of got to pry words out of Buster.
No, true.
And I'm not sure if he would buy around or not. He probably would, but
I bet he
don't know.
would. I
Yeah,
bet
okay.
he would.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
did you hear he just bought a new piece of property up north, Northern California?
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when he retired, he went back to was it Georgia or Florida or something?
Right.
So, okay.
Georgia,
all right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he
And
had
I
a
think he
huge
went, oh,
ranch just outside of
humidity.
Kansas City
Ugh.
up there.
Now that he's back,
Yeah.
He's
You
in
got
the-
spoiled in California. Who
Yeah.
hasn't?
now that he's in the
right.
front office, he bought a 4,000 acre, 4 or 40, maybe could be 40. It's a hunting preserve.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, for duck hunting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Mhm.
Robbie.
All right. I think, what?
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay. I think my number 4, I'm not, I wouldn't say that I'm a Yankee fan, but in the Ken Burns baseball documentary, there's a narrative that this person does that I so much relate to, talking about the first time he remembers going to Yankee Stadium and the big doors swung open and you just saw this huge green field and the diamond and everything for the very first time. And I have a stark memory of that from, I think I was 3 years old at Candlestick Park, of the big, remember the big swinging doors on the
Yeah.
concourse, and you used to
Yeah.
have to open them, and that door opening up, and same thing, just that lush green field. And I so identify with the I don't know if it's a monologue or a speech or whatever, but Billy Crystal talking about the Yankees and what it meant to him and going to the park with his dad and with friends to the game and all of that, and how that field just unfolded it to himself. And that was just, that made me understand right away that Billy Crystal's a baseball guy and we're baseball guys. And besides being entertaining and funny, I think he loves the game just about as much as we do. And I think that would be fun to sit at a ballpark at Yankee Stadium in particular with Billy Crystal at a Yankee game, because just because I know I've had at least one shared experience with him from thousands of miles and years apart.
Well,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he made my honorable mention. He was
good.
definitely, yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought about
So-
him too there.
Anytime you go to a new stadium, you walk through the corridor and then it opens up to the field and you just look and just are in amazement. Wow.
Yeah.
So
And it
cool.
always, to me, it always seems like it was smaller than I see on TV. It's like, this isn't near as big as it looks when it's on TV. This is
And
right here, but it's the
even-
right dimension.
Even as big kids, it's
Yeah, even as big kids.
Well, I
awe-inspiring.
kind of phrased it as another way, and I mentioned it before. My grew up as a kid in Seattle and came down to San Francisco and went to Candlestick Park the first time. And I had a different, very opened up the doors and it was like a cathedral.
Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
this was the home of the minor gods, Mays, McCubby, Mary
Yeah.
Shell,
Right.
and the history, Christy Mathis. So yeah, but I get you right. Yeah,
All right.
Good one. Good one.
Brent, I think that leaves
Brent's-
you.
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to spend a game with Bob Euchre.
You just took him off.
I think it would be just fun to laugh and heckle and listen to his wit and wisdom the whole game. I mean, he's quite a character. I mean, he was a ball player. He kind of roped his way into that because he said he went to college and played ball, and that kind of got him out of the army. And, then he led the league in passed balls as a catcher, as a backup catcher. That's tough to do. But I think it would be just a kick to listen to him and go on and just his quick wit.
Yeah.
And he went from there to TV and then back to radio. And I guess he's still with the Brewers, isn't he?
I
Yeah,
think so.
90 years old, and he's still doing most of
Yeah,
the games.
he's still doing
Yeah.
it. So
That's-
I'd love to do that with Bob. One game.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I had him
Yeah.
on my list for sure.
Yep.
And he
Yeah,
had a couple
yeah,
films.
me too.
Well, we're just making
We're
great
moving.
time.
We're moving.
Round
Yeah.
4 is
Round 4 is done, but on the upside, that brings us to my favorite part of the show.
Ooh.
What you drinking?
Ah.
And as always, Highlights from Lowlifes is sponsored by our good friends at Almanac Brewing, Alameda, California. They are among the premier craft brewers in the United States. We are all big fans of the beer, not just because they're giving it to us, but because when you actually
That
drink
helps.
it, you go, "Oh my God, that's a great beer!"
It is. It really is.
And as long as they're in the playoffs, Almanac is still sponsoring the Oakland Ballers. So you
All
can
right.
at the Ballers games. Just wanted to drop that in there. But I am tonight drinking the Almanac Hugs Hefeweizen. This is a new product for them. They started selling it this summer in their tap room, and it was so popular. There was so much demand for it, they had to can it. So they just released this a few weeks ago. It is now out in the marketplace, and it is delicious. Hefeweizen comes from Germany, and Wie eine Matte zum Licht sind mich desuspiran.
Hmm.
You read
Which
that off
says-
the cue card real well.
Yeah, I did, right?
Yeah.
Like wrote it out phonetically, not in German, so I could do it right. But like a moth to a light, I am drawn to this beer now. What do you guys?
Well, it's a beautiful day here in Reno, and I was thinking about, I can break open a couple cans of the Oktoberfest or Rocktoberfest,
Mm,
But you know what? It's still a nice, beautiful late summer day. So let's go something a little lighter, and it's the Seaside West Coast IPA.
Oh, that's
A
a good one.
nice,
Good one.
full beer that's not you don't have to bite into like some IPAs do. It's a real nice, refreshing beer, and like I said, one of the few IPAs that I drink, and yeah, I made the right choice. It's a beautiful day today, and it means a beautiful beer. So there you go.
Very nice. I was if you haven't noticed, I've got my
A's cozy.
my A's going. See my A's jersey and my beers. A's and beers. And this A here is for Almanac. Huh?
Mm.
yes.
A for Almanac.
A
A
for Almanac.
Almanac. I am drinking the Flow. I've got another. I looked in the fridge and here's the last of the fresh flows. Go get a fresh one if you can.
Keep the flow going.
Yeah.
Very good.
Here, let me tell you the 3 words on my can. Happy, chill, hoppy.
Ah,
Very nice.
How about
very
you?
good. I am down to my last Hugs
Ah,
Oh,
Almanac. So I'm going to have to go out on a hunt because it's so new. I think I'm going to have to really scrounge the corners of the earth here to
If you're
come up
waiting
with
for a hug,
some.
you might want to pack a lunch.
But it is very good. It's a nice Hefeweizen. I'll tell you my 3 words it says on the can. It says "Smiles for Miles."
yeah.
It
You know,
is.
But it's
It's
very good.
not. It's not as thick and heavy as some Hefeweizens.
It
It's
is
got that
not.
full flavor,
It
but
goes down really nice.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying this beer.
It is. It's a very good one. So I'm gonna have to find some place that'll carry it. So here comes the internet.
Yes, it does. Almanac, once again, thank you for sponsoring the show. And again, I cannot stress enough, if you can get yourself to Alameda, California, stop by the brewery. It's a fantastic place. Great food. It's a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. And, they really are one of America's premier craft brewers. And if you tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Low Life show, they may take pity upon you.
it's a
Hey,
crapshoot.
Robbie, before we get started, can you do a mic check? I'm hearing static on your. Are your connections tight?
On me?
Yeah.
You're hearing it too?
Or is it yes?
Okay.
Yes, that's
It's
the
popping.
noise.
Yeah, that's what's popping.
Now it's popping. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Nope, lost you. We lost that.
still gone.
Yep. You're good. Oh,
Test it. Negative. Nothing. Nope.
no.
Nothing. Are you still able to hear us? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Negative. Nothing. No. Crackly. Got a.
Oh, anything now?
There it goes.
Okay.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it.
Don't touch it.
I'm not. Jesus, back off.
Don't rub it. Yeah,
You'd make a good AV guy in junior high school.
it was.
Just keep moving cords in and out until one of them works.
Yeah, it's Poppy, and then you drop out completely. Anyway, okay,
But not now.
Not now.
you're good now. Don't rub
Very
it.
good. Very good.
Okay. Thanks for waiting till 20 minutes into the show to tell me.
Oh, well, do you have anything interesting to say anyway?
Yeah. Good point.
All right. Hey, Brent finished that last round, so
I
he can
did.
start round 3.
Oh,
Or tell
I
us who
can-
to start.
Oh, how about Robbie? You go
Oh,
ahead and start us
all
on
right.
round 3.
All right. So for more serious reasons than my first 2 picks, I think I would really like to have sat at a ball game with Ted Williams.
Oh,
And mostly because he was so much into the science of the game, the physics of the thrown pitch, the batter's swing, just to listen to him analyze those things. It's something he could never really do on TV, but I think just sitting there at the ball game and listening to him, because he paid attention to every single little thing happening. Was did the pitcher change his hand position a little bit before he threw the curve, and is that guy dipping his elbow, or is not striding enough? Just to listen to 9 innings of maybe the greatest hitter who ever lived, analyzing every single moment on the field would be
That
spectacular.
would be an education.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy that wrote a book called The Science of Hitting, I feel like that'd be a good time to sit there with him.
oh yeah.
That's good.
Just to ask him, what are you looking for on this pitch?
Yeah. What do you think he's going to throw here?
What do you think he's going to throw?
And he'd probably go, "What the hell do you think he's going to throw?"
The baseball.
Yeah.
He's got all these signs. He's giving it away. What the heck do you think he's going to do? What he is?
What would you throw in this situation?
Yeah.
All right. Tiger.
All right. My number 3 is Field of Dreams, For the Love of the Game, and Bull Durham.
Oh,
Kevin Costner.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd be a fun. I think he'd be a fun guy to sit at a game with. Not sure about any other time, but kind of have. I think he's the kind of guy you got to have something in common, or looking at something in common with. So, and then,
Well, it'd be interesting to hear how he was trained to look like a player.
Yeah, he basically he wasn't a. I mean, he may have been a little leaguer, but I don't think he was a ball player. Did he ever play in high school or college? Do we know?
Yeah, I think he played for Fullerton, didn't he? I think Cal State Fullerton.
Did he go to Fullerton?
Yeah.
I didn't see that in this bio.
Yeah.
So he played at Fullerton. You're saying?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe so.
I'll get back to you on that. Teddy Bear, how about you?
Well, again, like I said, I was getting kind of selfish on this one. I like, and I get to still get to do this. I like to be with you guys when we go to a ball game. I always have a great time when we get together. I mean, when we go to the Ports games and we're in the parking lot laughing and scratching and having a beer or two, and we rarely seen the first inning of that game up there when we finally make it in, and then once inside, we're challenging each other with trivia questions and making fun of what somebody said and going back and forth on the ball game, and hey, there's a ball game in front of us too.
Yeah.
The group has gotten a little bit bigger than when we started, and it's kind of fun. We get some people, different people every week. That we have our extra tickets, and some people can come and some people can't. And it's about the hang. And we need to get together like this. Now we can do it outside of COVID. We can get together and go to the ball
Yeah.
game. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it when I go to the ball game with you guys. It's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Well, and
Yeah.
I mean, we are celebrities, being the top ranked
That's-
show on the Mike
that's
Up app
why
and
I
all.
put it
You can
on.
say, yeah,
That's why
they've got
you
the
guys
best
made the
show on the
list.
network.
That's why you guys made the list. But it's a kick. Yeah, it's a kick. But
Cheers to that.
yes,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's
Thanks.
precipitated many other adventures too.
This
by
is
the way.
true.
So
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
uh-huh.
What is precipitated?
Let's
mean?
see.
Here's a side note. Kevin Costner played baseball at Villa Park and was teammates with Dennis Burt.
Who?
Yeah, Dennis.
Well,
Burt.
I'm glad you brought that up.
He did go to CSU Fullerton. Who's Dennis Burt?
We
is
know
a
where that is.
pitcher,
Yeah.
66-year-old pitcher, played for the Braves.
66-year-old pitcher.
Yep. Well,
I bet he could really
he's-
bring
he's-
it.
He was born. He played for the Minnesota Twins 1985 and 86.
Hmm.
They went to Villa Park High School. All right, Costner played in high school.
Okay.
But Burt, that's funny. Dennis Burt has about 5 lines, and Kevin Costner. This is under Dennis Burt's bio, and Kevin Costner has about 10 lines on Dennis Burt's bio. Sorry. Okay.
Well, we don't have Rob here to go on and on.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
To wax philosophic.
Okay, so how about Terry? Did you do yours?
I went first.
Okay. Marty.
Thanks. Yeah, and my number 3 pick. I was getting a little nervous when I was heard the Yankees being mentioned already. Ezra would like this, but when Billy Crystal was brought up, because you mentioned the Yankees, and the number 3 pick was probably, I'll say it, the greatest Yankee of all time. Wouldn't you love to go to ballpark with Yogi Berra?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that was
Great pick.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
funny.
and it kind of the same lines as before. You could have a lot of fun. You could have a lot of joking around. You can get into the intricacies of the game. You don't realize what a great guy he was, and the stature in his career. There was and I've already seen it. Have you seen that picture? He's holding the bat, and there's a championship ring on each finger, and on some fingers there's 2.
Right.
You didn't realize that when he played, and then when he managed. And it seems to be he was a huge celebrity in New York, and made all his yogiisms popular, and he just seemed to be a great guy, family man, the whole bit, and just I mean they did that documentary on him, and the only thing he had was an issue with Steinbrenner for over the years, but even that they made up. But so on many levels, he would be a great guy to hang out at a ball game. Yogi Berra. So he's my number 3.
That's a great one, Marty.
Yep.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Oh,
You could
yeah.
ask him if he was out or safe.
It's not over until it's over.
Or I didn't say all the things I said.
It's
Yeah.
deja vu all over again.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
And he did get Jackie Robinson at the plate. Little controversy.
That would go on forever.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that brings us to round 2.
Okay.
But you know what? Before we go on,
Yes.
our incredibly smart audience had some comments here. First off, regarding the All-American Girls Professional Baseball, JC chimes in.
Guys, Mary Moore played for the Battle Creek Bells in 1952, and she's still alive apparently.
Wow. Thank you, Jace. Thank you, JC. Man, that
Yeah,
would be
and
fun.
JC was alive in 1952 as well,
Yeah.
so he's still around. Big Juicy with the what you drinking?
Hey, well, I ran out of my Rocktoberfest, so I have got Flow going tonight. Love that taste.
Good.
And then JC came back with a what you drinking as well.
Oh, good for him.
What you drinking? Well, since it's Oktoberfest season from September 21st to the first Sunday in October,
Good knowledge.
I'm having a Almanac Rocktoberfest.
Prost.
It says light and body, refreshing, and crispness. You may dance your arse
We
off.
missed October already?
Wow. We just skipped right over Thanksgiving.
Is that a Christmas
Well, and
game?
I'm glad he pointed out that Oktoberfest actually starts in September because we were, Tiger and I were at a bar on Sunday where after the game,
No way.
we played in a game and went over for a beer to watch a little bit of baseball before we took off. And I asked if they had any Oktoberfest beers, and the girl said it's still September.
Oh,
But it's
That's a
still
party foul.
Oktoberfest.
Oh
Party
man.
Party
No.
foul.
that would be Angel, by the
So-
way. Not going to mention any names.
Yeah, and most Oktoberfest beer comes out in August, and I have no problem drinking it in August.
It's true.
All right, I think that caught us up for now on those pieces. So off we go. Who's next?
I'm going to designate Teddy Bear to start off round 2.
Number 2. Here we go. Well, this guy's just a natural athlete. He could play anything he wanted to play.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Marty straightening his tie.
yeah, there you go. And I'm thinking of a friend of yours, Mr. Bo Jackson.
Oh,
Oh.
He was such a natural athlete. He could do anything he wanted to. I think it'd be fun to go there and ask him questions about other sports and whether he tried any other sports, whether he liked something else. I mean, you just look at him. If you put him on a golf course, he'd probably make a hole in one. If you put him on a baseball field, he'd hit home runs or throw you out from deep left field. You put him on the football field and he runs past everybody.
But
It
but
was
if
just
you raced him to the car, he'll pull out his hip.
he did. Unfortunately,
He'll blow out his
they
hip.
tackled him weird, and it tore that the vein in there. It
Yeah,
was just a freak
ended
thing.
his career.
But I wish we could have had him in there a little longer. But he had just had so much talent, and so aside from you guys, I think I'd like to be with Bo Jackson for a game.
nice.
I think it would be cool.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
pick.
Go ahead.
Okay,
pick
who's
somebody.
next?
Let's see. How about Terry?
Alrighty.
What's your number 2?
My number 2. I haven't gone number 2 yet.
Oh, TMI.
All right.
Maybe you should see a doctor.
Here's somebody. Here's a Bay Area boy who we all love, who lived. He died too young. He's a lifelong Giants fan. When he got the fans fired up at the 2010 NLDS by saying, "Good evening, San Francisco."
Yeah.
Robin Williams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
He,
pick.
He says, when they played in Candlestick, where they used to lose balls in the fog, I went to a couple games, and a lot of times you'd lose the players too. You had nipples the moment you walked into the stadium. It was slightly cold. What they said about him is that he loved going to baseball games because he didn't have to perform. He just got to sit and relax and enjoy games. And
I can believe it.
That's good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can believe it. You're always
Yeah.
under pressure to be funny and quick-witted and all that. And I'm sure it was easy for him, but I bet he just liked to turn it off for a little bit
Yeah,
sometimes.
and watch a ball game.
I think
That
Yeah,
that was his point.
just
He
makes
turn
a
it
lot of
off.
sense.
He just got to turn it off when he's at the game.
Yeah.
Just relax
a lot
and
of
enjoy
sense.
the game.
Ah, good pick, Terry.
That was
Yep.
my number 2.
Good call.
Marty, how about you?
Well, my number 2, and anybody who's watched the show for a while, it's been a while since I bring back some of my ghosts, but here he comes. You were close, Mr. Tetlow.
Yes.
You got the Jackson right,
Okay.
but the one I want to see is another Jackson.
Not Michael.
Shoeless Joe.
Oh, shoe. Oh, okay, okay.
Shoeless Joe
It's like
Jackson
Michael or
Shoeless,
Tito.
yeah.
Ooh.
There was Reggie. There's Keith.
at a ball game. And of course, it'll never happen. But if the ghost came back, we could talk all day just on the differences between the game today and it did then,
Uh-huh.
and talk about someone who, I mean, this was the guy that Babe Ruth said I imitated his swing. I mean, talk about the man who knew anything and everything about baseball. Plus the fact that, and he would have been a lot of fun at a ball game too. Because after he was finished with baseball, what did he do? I don't know if you can see this; it's a little difficult, but he ran a liquor store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does
and
that
this is
say?
the glass,
Shoeless-
but
shoeless-
this is
What does it say?
Joe Jackson Liquor Store.
Well, he knew where the money was.
There we go.
And what
So-
city is that in, Marty?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where his home was. So the guy could probably throw back a few during the ball game too, and I think it would be a very memorable evening. Yeah,
Yeah. I'll bet it would be.
yeah.
You're correct.
Shoeless Joe Jackson. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
And that would be 1362 Pendleton Street in Greenville, South Carolina.
There you go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody got
Oh,
the Joe Jackson Liquor Store.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
dropped out.
Yeah.
Some-
Robbie, say that again. You dropped out.
Somebody got me a business card.
Oh, there you go.
There
Good.
you go. Thank you.
So from
You're
the
welcome.
Joe Jackson Liquor, it might have been somebody on this show.
Oh,
Oh, there's a mystery.
Oh,
It's a mystery.
wasn't me.
It was
Anyway.
me. It was me.
It was Marty.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to.
Tiger.
I don't want to
Number
leave the
two,
mystery
Tiger.
I've already gone. I went with Robbie.
All right, then
Williams.
that leads us back up to Mr. Landerman.
Okay. I did have Bob Euchre as my number 2, but
Okay.
clearly that's off the board now.
Ah,
Oh,
But that's okay because I also another lifelong Giants fan, Bay Area sports fan, and then sports in general. A guy that even named a record sports. Huey Lewis.
yeah.
oh,
Huey
yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
He's on my honorable mention. That's a good pick. That's
Yeah.
a good pick.
Right.
Huey
Uh-huh.
just seems like a really good, solid guy that never took fame for granted. There was a quote about him. They were talking to him and go, "You used to play stadiums and now you play county fairs and things like that." And Huey Lewis said, "So what? We're a working band. We work, we play." And that's kind of, I love that attitude. I think he would be fun to go to the game with because he loves baseball and especially the Giants. And it'd be fun to talk about all the different times he got to do the national anthems and things like that
Yeah.
with the band. And yeah, it just seems like a real rock solid guy to sit there and have a great afternoon talking baseball and enjoying the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And then
listened to him
when
sing
they-
the national anthem, him in the news.
Yeah.
Sing
Yeah.
the national anthem at Candlestick Park a whole bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And they did it
Absolutely.
without any instruments. There's a phrase
Oh,
for
no.
that.
Yeah.
Straight up a
That you
cappella.
just do it. That's it. A cappella.
Yeah.
I was going to say a la carte, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
No, that was after the national anthem.
Yeah. The a la carte.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Anybody
enjoyed
left
it.
in this round?
At the
I think-
Nope,
at
I did
Candlestick
4.
Park, it would be the sliced beef sandwich of the second deck, a la carte.
I remember
It
that.
was
The
a
carving station up there.
French
Yeah.
dip, the French
Yeah.
dip sandwich
Yeah.
restaurant.
The carving station up there. Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
So now we've come to the part of the show that I normally call.
But since
But-
you're in charge of
Hey, why
it,
don't you tell
Yeah.
us about
Webby's
other,
not here, so it's like,
other
well,
mic'd up shows, Robbie?
yeah. Any of you guys want to talk about any of the shows? I know Marty particularly likes the one show from Jim Darby.
yeah. Well, okay,
Yes.
fine. He's got one coming up this week too. I saw an upcoming attractions. Jim Darby. It wasn't. If he's not the first, he was one of the first. I mean, we joined Jim on the app because he was here before us. He was an executive. Was an executive for Mizuno in Eastern Sports, and he was kind of an agent that would go out and get the contracts with the big names and all. And he has all sorts of stories about all sorts of sports celebrities, and some of them are really kind of cool. The one that always sticks in my mind is when he had to accompany Ricky Henderson to Japan because the Japanese couldn't speak Rickyese. Didn't understand what Ricky was saying. He goes on college sports. He did a great. I always loved college baseball World Series, and he had a great story about that. He always has a great bunch of insights, and it's a no miss show. Is what I wanted to say. Even if you just have it on the radio as you're driving to work or running errands or something, always worth your time. It's the Jim Darby show. So I'm gonna throw it back to you.
That's good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, and probably the most famous host on the network here is Rick Barry,
Right.
NBA legend, Hall of Famer. He has a show on here. He'll schedule them up. He's not on a regular schedule, but he'll schedule them as he goes, and he is amazing to listen to because he is opinionated and not afraid to share his opinion and exactly why he will justify his opinion. It's a lot of fun, and he is great. He is one of the best on this network about responding to the callers. If you leave him a question, he will play your question and he will answer it, and he will answer it honestly. And if he thinks you're an idiot for asking that question, he will tell you you are an idiot for asking that question. So that's a fun show. The Florida Sports Hall of Fame show is really good. That's on here, and I've actually found there's episodes where they've had guys like Wade Boggs on and Greg Coleman from famous Viking from the NFL. This week they had Pam Oliver, the longtime sportscaster.
Oh yeah.
She was on. But I found some of the shows like there was a guy in archery. There was a woman who navigated the Pacific Ocean solo. Some of those shows are just absolutely fascinating. So I take a look at that. I mean, no matter what you think of Florida, the show's pretty good. And then we have the Rovner report. AJ Rovner is an insider with the New York Giants. So he does some interviews outside of the New York Giants as well, but he's got some interviews and shows about that. And then, of course, probably the last place show on this network, Yankees Coast to Coast.
We were doing so well.
Yes, I know. We had to bring him up. Mike Miller and Adam Schneider live on opposite coasts of the country and talk about everything Yankees and sometimes throw in some fun other stuff. They have a good Stump the Host trivia question thing. So there's a lot of good stuff happening out here on Mic'd Up, and there's a lot of stuff in the works. So stay with us on here and remember to leave comments and questions on the shows. And thanks for participating.
Yeah.
Hey, nicely done.
Yankees
Very good.
Coast to Coast is very
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Tune in and check them out.
Who was that guy? Who's Webby again? Who was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
I hope he's listening.
He's so busy on assignment
Robbie,
now, though.
Your joke popped out.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay. Clearly, it's when I get loud.
Oh.
All right. Who finished that round? Was that me?
I do believe so.
I think
Yeah.
it was. All right. So we're going to our final round now. I will turn to Marty to start us off.
Okay. It was brought up again, so I don't care. I'm gonna do it. He is my number one pick, and that was my dad. I was living in Las Vegas, and Dad couldn't walk anymore, so we wheeled him into the ballpark at Cashman Field. And all he wanted to go because it was $2 beer night. So unfortunately, we still have pictures yet. But what
Like
we do,
father, like son.
there's a picture of my dad with a biggest smile on his face with these two beers. And he came for two reasons. Well, actually, maybe three: the two beers and the thing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Yeah.
Dad always was a very talented singer. He could have done it professionally if he wanted to. Loved to sing. And here's this little old, he's lost weight and is frail little old man. And sitting in this wheelchair, and then belches out, take me out. The whole dang section went whoop. Turned around with my finger out. And he just belted it out, had a good time, and turned to me after and said, "We can go now. We're done."
Good for him. Good for him.
So if I had one more time to do one more bowl game, I'd be do it with Dad.
Right with you.
As you
I'm
guys
right
all
with
live
you,
with your
Marty.
dads.
Right
So
with
that,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
Well,
yeah. Thanks.
I'll drink to that again.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great.
Here's the pops.
There's Pop. Go ahead, Tiger. Number one.
All right. How about this? Okay. Number 24, Willie Mays, New York and San Francisco.
Yep.
He was born in 1931, passed away in 24 this year. The Say Hey Kid.
Yeah.
I would like to sit and watch a game with the 1948 Birmingham Black Barons Willie Mays.
Oh,
I'd like to see
interesting.
Negro American League. I'd like to.
Uh-huh.
I think me and Jonesy would love to just sit in and hang with him.
I
And
wonder
we
if
all
you,
would, but
the
speak
guy
for
was
Jonesy.
so
yeah.
driven. I don't think you could. He'd be coming out of his seat every 2 seconds.
We would have to sit we'd have to sit in the dugout with him. And
Maybe in the
Yeah.
dugout. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, because
yeah.
he wouldn't be in. He wouldn't be sitting.
And then
That's
there's
great
times
pick.
when he was playing first base, I think. And you need to be the first base coach on the opposite team to see that happening too,
Yeah.
up close and personal. So Willie Mays from 1948 would be my number one
Fantastic,
pick.
Terry.
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
Our regular old Willie Mays, that'd be great also. But
Yeah.
back when before he got into his stardom, and no doubt he was a star back then.
Yeah. Mays that's a great pick. My wife and I oftentimes watching the Giants games when he would stop by the broadcast booth and visit Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow, they'd be interviewing him and they'd be looking at Willie and Willie was scanning the field. You could see him sizing up shortstop's a little too far left. I'd go up the middle on this guy. And you could just see him reading the
Yeah.
field and
Yeah.
how he would play the game if he was still playing. And he did that into his 80s. Anytime
Oh,
you
yeah.
saw him interviewed, his eyes were locked on the field and what was happening down there. He'd answer every question. He heard everything they were saying, but his mind was baseball. He was working baseball.
Working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was breathtaking to watch. Great pick.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Hey, Robbie, go ahead. Number one.
Okay, well, my number one, I'm wearing it.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to go to a Cubs game at Wrigley Field with Bill Murray.
Yes.
Again, Bill Murray, as eccentric and crazy as he is, he's a baseball guy and he's a Cubs diehard. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you could sit there and talk about George Altman and Fritz Brickle and Ernie Brolio and whoever that once wore a Cubs uniform for 4 games. He's going to be able to talk to you about it, and I think it would be a laugh. And I think you would have the whole roller coaster of everything that we love about baseball, talking stats, making up stupid joke names for guys,
Yep.
laughing, crying, the whole thing, the whole gamut. I cannot imagine anything better in terms of a celebrity than sitting with Bill Murray at a Cubs game at Wrigley Field.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
Nice.
I wouldn't mind
Nice.
playing around a
Nice.
golf with him too.
Yeah, that too, huh?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Absolutely. That'd be a kick.
Yep.
That'd be an absolute kick.
Oh, well then, Brent, I think that leaves it to you to bring. You started us off. Bring us home.
I'll bring you home. All right. My number one, I would love to, with stipulations, I'd love to watch a game when he's in the broadcast booth with John Madden.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think it would be a kick to see him bop and whap and in person and draw lines on the telestrator and all I want to see what he hears or what he says when they're off camera or off camera and during commercials. It would be interesting to hear what he would say during the game at that part too. But he's just so flamboyant and enthusiastic, and he described a game. kind of like a Batman series where you want to put the boom and the pow on the screen when Batman was in a fight. And I think it would just be a kick to watch him work a game and watch a game with him. Only if it's in the broadcast booth. When he was on the coach, he had to be pretty serious and he was responsible for his actions down there. But up in the booth, I think he let himself go and he was fun. He
Yep.
looked like he had a good time.
Outstanding
So,
pick.
yep. So that's my guy.
Wow.
That's good.
Great job.
Yeah.
Hey, what a good job, guys. We got some great stuff. Yeah, all over the
Yeah.
place. That's terrific. Way to go.
It looks like we've got some really good stuff in the comments, so we'll go to those and then we'll come back and wrap up with our honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. I got a good one.
So here comes JC.
JC here with my 5 people I'd like to watch a ball game with. Number 5, F.P. Santangelo.
Yeah.
Listening to his occasional broadcasts, My Kind of People. One of the fighting hydrants, and every once in a while he'll mention an ugly finder.
UF.
Number 4, William Nuschler Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Louisiana
good
boy,
pick.
very opinionated. Would be fun to watch a ball game with him.
Can't believe I didn't get that one. Geez.
Yeah.
Great pick, JC.
Yeah. Very good. I got a little story to tell at fantasy camp about him.
Okay, let's get through.
Oh, you want to hear it?
JC continuing with
Yes.
number 3, Joe Montana. Always enjoyed Joe. Number 2, Bill Murray. But I'd want to go to a Cubs game with him. I think it would be a blast to hear him and to talk to him about his Cubs, my Giants, and baseball in general.
I agree. You want to tell your story now, or do you want to get to his number 1?
Go to number 1.
Okay.
He's on a roll.
Yes, he is.
Number 1 actually happened. Well, sort of. Fantasy Camp 1992, catcher for Tom Haller's Hilltoppers. The runner trying to score was Frankie D'Ambrosio of Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's, who tried to jump over me rather than slide. My head and my nose stopped him. I held onto the ball. He was out, and so was I. Second game of the doubleheader, I got to sit with my concussion, eyes crossed. It was Orlando Cepeda sitting next to me.
Hello, Orlando.
Yes.
And with the concussion, JC actually spoke fluent Spanish.
Yeah.
Donde?
All right.
Will Clark was at fantasy camp. He was one of the ambassadors there one time. He was sitting in our dugout. I was catching for this young lady from New York, and she was struggling a little bit. I called timeout. I went out to the mound, and I just went out there and I told her a joke. I didn't say anything about her pitching or anything. I just told her a joke, and she just started busting up laughing. I forget what the joke was, but anyway, I came back down there. She struck the next guy out. The inning ended. Came back. Will Clark says, "What did you tell her?" I said, "I told her a joke," and I told him that joke. He just started laughing tremendously. He thought that was the greatest thing. Just needed to get her mind calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
that
Very
was
nice.
fun.
Cool.
So one of our listeners, Red Wing, is currently laid up with some
Yes.
medical issues, but he asked JC to call in for him. So JC is going to relate Red Wing's celebrity.
In care of.
Red Wing 1 is coaching a baseball game at this time, and
He's
he
laid
asked
up.
me
Whatever.
to relay his thoughts. He would love to go to a baseball game with comedian Shane Gillis.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis.
I'm not familiar.
No.
So Red Wing 1, we need more backstory.
Yeah, crickets.
Yeah. All right, and
Oh.
I think Big Juicy chimed in on Terry's pick earlier.
Hey guys, earlier this year there was at least one remaining All-American Girls Professional League player, Mabel Blair, 97 years old, earlier this year, being
Okay.
celebrated.
7.
She played for the Peoria Red Wings in 1948. Last year, USC baseball program had her as a featured guest at one of their games.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
that'd
It's
be
amazing
so-
how Big Juicy always works in USC somehow.
Yeah, somehow he gets it in there.
I think Big
Dun,
Juicy's old
dun.
enough he might know her. Shane Michael Gillis is an American stand-up comedian.
I know that's all I
we
got too.
figured we got we
Great.
gotta figure it out.
There's really not a lot of backstory there.
I can tell you though, if Scott likes him, he's a good guy.
Okay.
All right, well,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll vouch for Scott. Red Wing won.
All right. Big Juicy's got his list. This should be interesting.
Okay, I've got a few for you, and let's start off with Kevin Hart, the comedian. Love to go to a Phillies game with him. He's from Philadelphia.
The baseball guy.
Has quite a bit of baseball sports integrated into his stand-up comedy routines. And while we're there at the baseball game, we could be going through some Topps baseball cards, looking for his baseball card, quote unquote his, where a small image of himself was photoshopped onto a card.
All right. He continues.
Keyword small.
Next up,
Yeah.
I would like to go to a Yankees game with the assistant to the traveling secretary of the Yankees. That would be none other than George Costanza in real life, Jason Alexander. And as much as I'd love to go with him, it's probably not going to happen. But the next best thing, you know what that might be? Yes, going to a game with Mike Miller from Yankees Coast to Coast.
There you go.
All right. And then Big Juicy wrapping it up for us.
And my number one choice is to take in a game with Paige Spiranak. She's a baseball fan from her college days at San Diego State in Arizona. And last year, the Brewers had a golf night, and she was the featured person there. And she basically turned that team around, or so they say. A 500 team, then made it to the playoffs last year. So I'd love to sit with her and ask her how her stroke is.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
God.
Yellow flag.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. On that note, how about honorable mentions?
well,
What do you guys-
when Paige, when the word Paige came up, wouldn't it be fun to kind of
Satchel.
pick Sancho Page's mind at a ball game one afternoon?
That
I
was
mean,
that was my guy.
yeah. I
That
mean,
was my honorable mention, Satchel Paige.
yeah. I mean, whatever age he is,
Yeah.
or claim to be.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
How about this guy, Mike Murphy?
Oh,
he was a
sure.
Giants
Oh, yeah.
clubhouse manager.
The clubby.
From 1980 to 2023. Not only that, he was he started as a bat boy for the Giants.
Yeah, Mike Murphy. For those of you not from the Bay Area, Mike Murphy came or started with the Giants their first year in San Francisco in 1958, and just retired. What, last year? Year before last?
23.
Year before last,
He
yeah.
pretty much had been here. He'd seen everything in San Francisco to do with
He
the
did.
Giants, and Willie Mays used to go by his office. That's
Every
yeah.
single
Willie
player-
Mays went to Mike Murphy's office.
What
does that tell you?
Every player went through Mike Murphy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He gave out numbers.
And if he liked you, you got a low one. If he didn't like you, you got a high one.
He went to camp. I actually have a signed baseball from Mike.
Yeah.
The Murphy.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Pretty
boy.
neat. And it's
Yeah.
it's just on a whim. I'm like, yeah, this guy's as famous as any of them. Really,
He is.
he really held the Giants together for many years.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
Here's another thing. Take me out to the ball game. Could you imagine? Okay, the man that it was written by, is it Jack Norworth and Albert von Tilzer? Could you imagine? They have no idea what this song has done for them.
Yeah. I mean, royalties for this 5 cents for every time it's played. I mean, come on.
Is it really?
I don't know. Would that be something?
No, they-
I mean,
Wow.
5
It's one of
cents.
those- It's one
Wow.
of those songs that is like the Star Spangled Banner and Happy Birthday. It's just sung
yeah,
by
it's an i-
everyone, and gosh, just a thought of. It was written. It was 1908. They had
Yeah,
no
I think
idea
it's
what
about right.
it became.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. Kind of fun. Albert von Tilzer.
Nice.
Oh, he composed it, and Jack Norworth was the lyricist. He wrote it.
Marty,
Yeah.
got one?
Yeah, he had Satchel.
I had
Satchel?
Sancho Page. That was good. That was
Yeah.
that's good. You know. Yeah.
Robbie?
Yeah, I had a couple.
Go for
Studs
it.
Terkel. Studs Terkel was a great writer. Most people know him in 8 Men and Out. Remember the two reporters that are trying to figure out what's going on? The older reporter
Right.
is Studs Terkel.
Oh,
But Studs Terkel was a writer who loved the common man. He wrote books upon books where most reporters will go to a game and they want to interview the stars. Studs Terkel was the guy that wanted to interview the utility infielder that's struggling to stay on the club. And that same thing, like instead of interviewing the guy that owned 47 restaurants across the country, he wanted to interview the busboy. He was that kind of guy, and he loved baseball. He was from Chicago. He was a White Sox guy, and he was a contributing writer on the movie 8 Men Out, and everything else. So I think he would be kind of fascinating, just because he was fascinated about that everyday life, and I think talking to him about, and he did several interviews with guys that were like utility infielders and backup players, and a guy that played 2 weeks in the
Yeah.
majors. That was fascinating to him, and
wow.
so
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
He
that's my
liked the little
intellectual
things.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
intellectual pick.
Interesting to see if he's proud of the White Sox this year.
Yeah, I think he died, thankfully, ahead of
Yeah.
that. But and then my other one is two guys, Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam and John Cusack, the actor, because really deep down, those guys have been to fantasy camp. And they know what it's all about.
They do.
They're Cubs guys, right?
They're
Yeah,
Cubs,
Cubs
guys.
guys.
Yeah. We got to play against them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Third
And by-
base and Eddie Vedder for the center field.
and by all accounts, they were good guys and had a blast. And they just
did.
were trying to be fantasy campers and nothing else.
And that's
Yep,
what they
that's
were.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. So there we go. Anybody
I
got
thought it
any
was
last?
interesting.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Marty.
there was an article in the Wall Street Journal about the White Sox today, and just everybody knows the bad season they had, but there's three teams that are going to the playoffs that has a lower payroll than the White Sox, and I thought, wow, imagine that. Imagine that. Not only are they bad, but they're getting paid too much to be bad. Wow.
And did you see there are 5 teams that have worse attendance? So think about that.
Yeah.
One of those teams won't have a stadium next year.
Yeah, one of those
Yeah,
teams will
yeah.
outdraw the White Sox next year in a smaller stadium.
They will. Well, the
All right,
Dodgers
well-
have a pretty tall payroll for not making the playoffs or not making the World Series champs for a while.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
1 billion with a B. Oof.
Yeah, I think you got the Dodgers and the Yankees, but other than that, there's a bunch of other teams that just get hot and watch out. I think it's going to be a great playoff.
That's going to be fun.
I think
It
it's going to be a
always
lot of
is.
fun.
It always is. That's where baseball starts.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. The second season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty good for tonight. I think we've done a hell of a job. Personally, I think we're outstanding.
Fellas, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Much
Always a
appreciated.
pleasure. Always a
Yep.
pleasure.
As always, we are sponsored by Almanac Brewing, again, Alameda, California, one of America's true premier craft brewers. Make sure you support Almanac, and thanks for sticking around with us for 58 some odd episodes. We'll be here for another
Rocktoberfest
1,043.
is, not far away.
True craft brewers.
That's right. All right, I got to play the theme song and get us out of here before these guys.
Get us
ramble on.
out of here. Get us out of here.
Highlights
I mean,
from
you can still enjoy your beer while we're waiting.
Yes, you
right,
can.
right.
highlights.
Synchronized twigs.
Wait,
An Olympic sport.
oh, there's the label. That's the label. Okay.
See ya.
See ya.